We've got Caleb Saylor's Multimedia Journalist, SuperTalk Mississippi News.
You could have kept playing Renegade, Rhino. That's way better than Archiron, but yeah. Good. And Rhino, you know what? You never miss, man. Always bring the heat with the music. I appreciate it. Gerard, what's been going on, man?
I don't know. It's been kind of a busy week. Been just out and about and trying to keep up with everything. Those folks down at the legislature, they've been working pretty hard. We appreciate it. This is a time when really I guess they get down to the old brass tacks,
down
as
to the
metaphor goes.
Yeah, and it seems like there's a lot of infighting going on between the House and the Senate right now, and even
no,
that would never happen in Mississippi, right? And we've gotten to the point where they're trying to get things done, but it seems like some things are being sabotaged too because some aren't getting their way, and we can get to that later. But Gerard, before we get into any of the legislative side of things, we broke a story early this week, and information that was presented to us, SuperTalk News. Again, every story that we present today can be found on our website at supertalk.fm. But Wildlife Commissioner Leonard Bentz, who's supposed to oversee rules, regulations with the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks, we found out this week that he had been investigated, or he was being investigated for hunting on illegally baited property in Holmes County. State law says you can't hunt wild game or wild birds with bait to lure the animals. So crazy story, things I hadn't even heard of. So the commissioner, he gave me all the details. Commissioner Leonard Bentz provided a story, his account of what happened. Last Friday, he and at least one of his sons and some others were hunting on this property in Holmes County. And they had been stopped and interrogated by a conservation officer, and it had been discovered that they were hunting on, like I said earlier, on baited property. Well, the commissioner said that he had checked the roads and all the deer feeders and everything and said he made sure that there was no baiting, that no illegal feeding, nothing that would constitute a violation of any kind of wildlife regulations or laws, right? And so he had the landowner, the caretaker, come out and explain to the conservation officer what had happened. Well, the officer said they had caught the landowner putting out crickets on the property days before the commissioner and his group had arrived.
Oh, man.
And so the commissioner maintained the whole time to me, said, I didn't know that the property had been baited. I didn't know. The landowner vouched for me. The landowner said that he had done it. The landowner even said that he didn't know that it was illegal to put crickets out on the property, didn't know that constituted a violation. Well, the commissioner, I reached out to him again and said, we're going to run a story about this, about you being under investigation. Is there anything else you want to tell me? Well, we had run the story that he was under investigation, and later that night that we had broken that story, he confirmed to me, Commissioner Bentz confirmed to me that he had been cited. So he had been issued a citation for hunting on baited property, which in Mississippi, the law states that even if you don't know that a piece of land had been baited, you could still be punished, still be fined for it because you still hunted on that property. And those fines are run between $100 and $500, and he said he would pay the fine. But this is kind of a pivotal point for him, though, because the commissioner, he previously served as a representative in the legislature, as we were just talking about earlier. He had been a public service commissioner in the Southern District of Mississippi and was appointed to the Wildlife Commission in 2021, reappointed in 2023 by the governor, but has yet to be confirmed by the Senate this year. And we've gotten word from, I'm obviously not going to release any sources here, but we've gotten word that there's an effort. If he doesn't resign from his position as a commissioner, there's some in the Senate that are going to work to block his confirmation. And this stems from a long list of things. A lot of outdoor enthusiasts, a lot of people who are fans of free range hunting don't like his stances on chronic wasting disease. He's an opponent of chronic wasting disease zones in Mississippi. And so there's a lot of drama there in that sect of the wildlife community. And so there are some who are calling for him to resign and step down. And it'll be interesting to see if the Senate does block his confirmation. And so we haven't been given any further word. The Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks was going to issue a statement on it, but Director Lynn Posey told me directly that they weren't going to release a statement right now, waiting for more information to come about, waiting for the investigation to be completed, and then we'll probably hear something from them then. But whirlwind of a story. All the details can be found at supertalk.fm, and we broke this story. We were the first to report it, and I personally got accounts from the commissioner and talked to the executive director, Lynn Posey,
Oh, you
surrounding
did?
this. Yes.
You talked to the commissioner?
Yes. Oh, he reached out to me. I emailed him. We exchanged messages back and forth. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And so that's the story. Again, you can read on our website all about it. And so the commissioner has maintained his innocence, and he even told me that the law enforcement, the conservation officer, exonerated him of any kind of like breaking the spirit of the law, but that he had broken the letter of the law. We haven't gotten that confirmed yet. Law enforcement, the head of the officers with the Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks reached out to me and said he couldn't confirm or deny that right now. The investigation's ongoing. So when we get confirmation there, we'll further report on it. Wild story, though. But speaking of confirmations, Gerard, Dr. Lance Evans has been confirmed as the state superintendent of education, the first one we've had full-time in nearly 2 years. This comes as last year, Dr. Rodney Taylor was not confirmed by the Senate, and so now they had to scramble. We needed a state superintendent of education. You couldn't have a guy in the interim there forever, and so he comes from the New Albany School District and got them their first A rating in a very, very long time, and so he'll take the charge running education in Mississippi.
Wow. How about that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we got a superintendent.
We got a superintendent.
Officially confirmed.
Finally, the Senate finally agreed to one. They didn't agree on Dr. Taylor last year, said he hadn't spent enough time. He had been away from Mississippi too long, wasn't as familiar with the landscape as they wanted him to be, and so Dr. Lance Evans has been here the whole time, hasn't really gone anywhere, and so they liked him, confirmed him, and he's good to go. And speaking of our lawmakers, we had deadlines this past week. So we've got some bills that are dead and some that survived and are alive, but with some caveats. But I'll kind of give a rapid fire of some bills that are dead and alive. And again, more information on all of this legislation can be found at supertalk.fm. Some of the dead bills, one that you've talked about ad nauseum on this show, is the legislation that would shake up the PERS board. Dead.
Right.
Not passing. And I know that we had some scuttlebutt on social media about that. Representative Trey Lamar expressed his displeasure. Speaker Jason White expressed his displeasure with the Senate not passing the PERS bill. And again, we've documented all of that. And then any bills related to alcohol in terms of like cities immediately becoming wet, not having to follow county ordinances, all of those bills died. A bill that would allow Governor Tate Reeves to appoint a municipal authority to have control of the city of Jackson's water and sewer system. It didn't get passed by the House. And then a bill that was authored by Senator Jeremy England, friend of our program, that would allow early in-person voting in Mississippi without any excuse. It died. And I know there was some on the House that said they needed to study this a little more and give more time for poll workers or circuit clerk employees to kind of be prepared for this before they could pass it. And so that we won't have that this year, but Senator Jeremy England did say that, he'll work towards getting early in-person voting next session. Bills that are still alive, we got the Senate's version of Medicaid expansion. You can go to our website and read more about that. That's still alive. Whether the House will pass it or not, we don't know yet. You and I both think that that's not going to happen.
It made it out of committee, though, in the House.
But we'll see how it does on the floor.
I think they're going to conference.
And then what will Governor Tate Reeves do about it?
Yeah.
Because he's been adamantly opposed to any kind of Medicaid expansion. And then the Inspire Act, the House's legislation got killed, but they gutted the Senate's version of MAEP modifications and inserted their own language. So it's alive for right now.
It's crazy.
But Inspire Act has gotten the endorsement of the governor, has gotten endorsement of other prominent figures. Jason White has lauded it, touted it, and talked it up and down how good it is. And so we'll see how that goes. And one that I've been tracking very closely because I've been very interested in this is mobile sports betting. That passed. It's still alive, and Mississippi could join several other states in legalizing mobile sports betting. And there were parts of the bill that would help brick and mortar casinos in Mississippi too, allowing them to use their rewards programs to, if someone is betting from a mobile sports betting platform, backtracking a little bit, would have to partner with a land-based casino in Mississippi or a brick and mortar casino in Mississippi, and they could sync their rewards programs. Like if I'm going through MGM or through the Beau Rivage, but betting in Jackson, I could use their rewards, then go down to the casino at the Beau Rivage, get a free room, free meals, all of that. But again, everything can be found on these bills, can be found at supertalk.fm.
Gotcha. What about, real quick before we go to the baseball schedule?
Ole Miss lost to Arkansas last night. They've lost 5 in a row. They play again tonight at 6:30. Mississippi State takes on Georgia with the hottest hitting hitter in baseball in the SEC right now, Charlie Condon. They play at 6 p.m. tonight in Duty Noble. And Southern Miss is at South Alabama beginning at 6:30 p.m.
Appreciate it, Caleb. Coming right back,
Thank you,
folks,
Gerard.
in the Element Wealth studio.